The news also difficult in Atlanta for Miami. I think we had some expectation that Miami, with the returning offensive line, a little bit of surplus on defense, that the Canes would be ready to go against Alabama. Bryce Young, we knew all the newspaper clippings. Well, he delivered now. That was a pretty impressive performance by Bryce Young and Nick Saban's offense.
Of all the games, I watched a bunch of them this weekend. That was the most impressive team I watched. They have, again, surprise, number one Alabama. What I thought going in that game was can Miami get this game into the second half, where all of a sudden Miami's sitting there going, hey, we're still in the neighborhood, we're possession down, whatever the case may be. The answer to that question is no, they could not.
Right.
And that thing got ugly in a hurry.
Yep.
And this is a critical week, I think, for Miami. It's a critical week.
Appalachian State on Saturday.
Appalachian State. And we talked about this summer.
We did.
That you cannot let Alabama, if you're coming off an incredible upset win, hey, you got to put it behind you. If you're coming off an absolute woodshed job, you got to put it behind you, because all of a sudden Appalachian State and Michigan State are games 2 and 3. And by the way, if you watch, Sparty destroyed Northwestern. All of a sudden that game feels different than it did before we got a chance to watch any football.
Better hope it's hot and humid.
Well, what you better hope is that you can put Alabama behind you if you're Miami and be a mature football team and say, guess what? We got a chance to play in front of our home crowd.
Yeah.
Hard Rock should be rocking, doing its thing. And that Appalachian State crew now, they're well coached. They can play, and they will be excited to see you. Right? That's the thing. So they're not going to back off. So I think we learn a lot about Miami's football program with their game coming up this week against Appalachian State.
I think the Wake transfer, Kenneth Walker III, is still running in Evanston.
I tell you, Sparty looked good. Surprisingly so.
So did Kenneth Walker III.
Well, I mean, you knew he was a pretty good player.
Yeah. So, all right. Level of concern at Clemson.
We're talking as a whole or a certain side of the ball?
Level of concern as a whole.
Concern 3.
On 1 to 10?
Yeah.
Okay. Miami.
6.5.
You're really worried about these next two, aren't you?
I am. Because, there was so much all in. I mean, we talked to Manny, we talked to De'Eric, we talked to all these guys. And it was almost like, hey, we know what we're up against in week 1.
Right.
That game was over. That wasn't a second half game. There was never a sense that this was going to be competitive. I thought Miami would be competitive. I did. Didn't think they'd win, but I thought they could get it to the second half. They couldn't get to the second quarter. And Bama may be so good that that's the deal
all
across
year.
The board. Again, all right. I mean, we're talking about the best team in the country. But my concern for Miami, like I said, is now, hey, you got to put that behind you. Mm-hmm. You watch tape. Hey, that stunk. Got to do a better job on A, B, and C, and D. But show me something Saturday where, you know what, this is a mature football team that understands it was just 1 week. Now let's go play ball in front of our fans down there in South Beach.
All right, Packer and Durham presented by Subway, 844-SAY-ACCN on a Labor Day morning with lemon squares. James in North Carolina. Good morning, James.
And how are y'all this morning?
Fine, sir.
Great. Just had a couple of things. I think it was pretty obvious that it looked like Sam Howell was a little nervous. If I'm not mistaken, and y'all correct me, that didn't he come out and first, second, and probable third downs try to throw the ball on the very first series?
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
What happened to running the football? My other comment, plus I want y'all to comment on what I said.
All right.
My other comment is, gosh, Florida State, are they not tough or what? Did he get them guys in check? I mean, I haven't seen them play that way in years.
Agreed on part 2. All right, there's a third. Go ahead.
Go ahead, third. Go ahead.
It's all yours.
One other thing is, and I'm not trying to pick, but nobody has mentioned that Clemson has lost back-to-back playoffs, correct? So if y'all could make a comment, I really appreciate y'all. And I don't know if y'all remember me, but y'all are the absolute best ACC. Y'all are the premier show. We appreciate you. I'm going to hang up, and I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thanks, James.
Off he goes. James, all right, let's work backwards.
Clemson's lost
playoff-
back-to-back CFP games.
Correct.
Championship to LSU, Ohio State last year.
Right. That would be accurate.
Okay.
Part 2, Florida State. Totally agree. Thought the Noles looked the part last night. They really played great.
Compared to 2 years ago, it's not even close.
Mike Norvell, that's
And it may not be comparable to a year ago, but Roddy Jones, Larisha Harris, and I'll be there Saturday. I want to ask Mike Norvell that question: how big the gap is in a year.
Right. And the answer to the first question is, why don't they run the ball? Well, there's these guys, Carter and Williams, that were pretty talented in that backfield last year for North Carolina. They are no longer a part of the program. They have moved on to making a lot of cash.
Well,
and that's going to have to be developed. I just
right.
the thing that surprised me the most about that game.
Yeah.
I know we got Joseph Fuente coming up.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Virginia Tech, the very first play of the game, dictated tempo.
Absolutely.
That we're going to punch you in the face.
That's it.
And we're going to see how you like it. Our fans are juiced up and ready to roll. You knew that was going to happen. We talked about that ad nauseum last week. North Carolina, press clippings don't make tackles.
That's it.
And I thought Virginia Tech took the opening drive and shoved it down their throat and said, y'all like that?
Yeah.
And they got after Sam Howell. Now, North Carolina, that offensive line got gashed. Virginia Tech's defensive line tore North Carolina apart.
Wow.
And that was the one thing, Wes, real quick. It was the one thing about all the ranked teams in the ACC. Clemson, Miami, North Carolina. I thought all 3 offensive lines got abused.
We got beat up a little bit.
In all 3 games.
That's true.
Now, listen, those 3 teams, all ranked, combined to score 26 points for the weekend. That's it.
All right.
6.
More of your phone calls following our visit with Justin Fuente, because Friday night, Pac was right. The atmosphere delivered.